Greetings, people of the internet. It's Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for another Fan Art Friday. What did we do last week? Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One. So excited for this movie coming out. We're going to continue on with the theme. This time, this character, Saw Gerrera, looks pretty cool. I don't know a whole lot about him. We're going to dig in. We're going to see what we do know about him, and we're going to check out this drawing. Let's get to it. Alright, back with another Rogue One sketch. This is the second in the series. Probably continue doing on some of these. There's still some really cool characters, so some other ones that I want to get to. But this one is Forrest Whitaker's character, Saw Gerrera. Started off, I was going to say ironically, I don't know if it's ironic, but started off in the Clone Wars, but it is kind of unusual because I think this is probably one of the first characters that started in a cartoon, or maybe the only one, and then was transitioned to live action. If you don't count like Boba Fett from the Star Wars Holiday Special, I guess you could make a case for that one. But anyway, so what are we doing? We're sketching this guy out. We kind of got the basic gesture down, and just using my my Col-Erase pencils to kind of sketch this guy in. And yeah, these are a little difficult. It's difficult anytime you have like a movie that hasn't even come out yet, and you're trying to, piece together what this character looks like, because there's really not a whole lot out there. The only, there's like basically, the upper torso up of what he looks like, and there's two different versions. There's one where he has a shaved head, and one where he's kind of got this kind of crazy unkempt hair. And so I kind of went with the unkempt look. I don't know, that was from the latest trailer. Some people were saying they were like, because of the reshoots, that they changed the hairstyle. I don't know. I think that might have been just a different scene. Like maybe he does shave his head or something to maybe go into battle or something. So I don't know much behind that. But anyway, so I just decided to go with the look from the newer trailer. Seemed a little more interesting. But yeah, when trying to do these sketches from a show that, a movie that hasn't come out yet, really the only thing I had to go off of, like I said, was that kind of the upper body shot, and then decide which hairstyle to give him. And then the only other thing I could find was like a pop vinyl, a photo of like a pop vinyl figure. And so I noticed that it looks like he's got like one artificial robot leg, and maybe one artificial hand. He's got a glove on one hand. I don't know. Maybe he's just wearing a glove on one hand. But it was kind of hard to tell the color scheme. Even you'll see when I start putting in the color. I mean, it's kind of hard to guess at that. So I'm doing the best I can, but it's still just a lot of guesswork. And what's funny is, and I don't know how true this story is, but I heard that that if you guys are familiar with when the prequels came out, if you guys are Weird Al fans or not, I don't know, but maybe you're familiar with the saga. Was it called The Saga Begins? I think that was the name of it. Whatever. It was like his parody of American Pie, but it was basically the story from Star Wars Episode 1, like The Phantom Menace. And I heard that he wrote that before the movie even came out, just based on rumors and things like that of what he thought was going to happen. And if you listen to it, it's so dead on. So I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that somewhere, that it was just all pieced together based on rumors. And somehow you must have, I guess he didn't care much about spoiler alerts or anything, because somehow he dug up all that information and composed that song before the movie even came out. So again, I heard that somewhere. Whether that's true or not, it just seems like he just was so close on just about everything. But so hopefully I'm close on some of my guesswork on this particular character. I don't know. We'll find out when the movie comes out. And then again, maybe you never even see. I assume they'll come if they had an actual action figure that I could have looked at. It would have been easier for me to guess. The problem with the pop vinyls is they're the proportions are all squished and stuff. So they've got these really like tiny legs and a big giant head. So it's hard to, like, when you put them in the normal proportion, figuring out where the different elements of his costume would really lie. So again, I guessed a whole lot. So we'll see. But anyway, so now I'm getting into the inking part of the drawing, and I'm using my Kuretake number. I think it's a number. It's a 12 or 13, but I think on one episode I said 8. And I have a habit of just like, because I just kind of do these off the top of my head, and like, sometimes I'll watch my videos back and I'll give this information out that's like the wrong information, and I'm sure people are like, you got it wrong, and it's not even that I don't know the right information, but for whatever reason, like I'll like say the wrong thing. Like I think in the last video I did, I was talking about pitch timber, which was a new thing, that Jason Brubaker's doing, where you pitch your comic book, and I was calling it Pitchtober for part of the video. So sometimes I'll say things, and it's weird because like I'll be listening to the radio, and like if a DJ like gets a song wrong, like the artist or something, I'm like yelling at the radio like, you don't know what you're talking about, guy. What are you doing on the radio? But yet I do that kind of stuff all the time. So I can kind of see the other side of that. And like I said, it's not even that you don't know the correct thing. You're just, for whatever reason, you say the wrong stuff. So don't don't listen to everything I say as like etched in stone, because I'm usually, a lot of times I'm wrong. But I think this is the Kuretake 12 or 13, definitely not the 8 like I said in one of my videos. But anyway, but it is a cool brush. If you look it up, I'm really digging it. So far I haven't run out of ink on it yet, so I'm anxious to kind of see how long the different cartridges last. But it's really a nice portable pen, and I kind of like dig using it. So anyway, so back to this character. Like I said, he started off in the Clone Wars cartoon, which it's actually a pretty good series. I've watched it, and it's been a while, so I kind of had to go back and I watched one of the episodes with Saw Gerrera just to kind of get an idea of his character, because I kind of forgot because it was so long ago that I watched it. And it's interesting, he's definitely kind of like kind of a little hot-headed, and he's definitely more on the extreme side of the Rebel. I want to say Rebel Alliance, but this is pre any kind of alliance, so it's just, I assume it's just a bunch of rebels to begin with, and finally they do kind of come together in some sort of official capacity. And I think even in like Rogue One, he's still kind of on the fringe of that. So it'll be interesting to see what his character is all about. But so physically, like in the comics, of course, he's a lot younger. I mean, not the comics, but the cartoon. He's a lot younger, of course, and that's obviously, that makes sense because this takes place quite a few years later. But in the cartoon, he has like these like bright blue eyes, which kind of gives him this sort of alien look. But in the movie, he's just got regular, Forrest Whitaker's regular like brown eye color. So I guess they didn't decide to put contacts in, which at first I'm like, how difficult is it to do that? Just put contacts in to kind of, But then I noticed that there's the other character, which maybe the character I'm going to do next. I'm not sure. I forgot his name. Star Wars character names are so hard to remember, especially. I mean, once you hear them and they get kind of etched in your memory, you can remember them. But when they're just naming them off, they're really bizarre. But is his name Donnie Yen? The guy from the Ip Man movies. I think that's his name. But anyway, so he's a blind character, so he's kind of got these really bright, like whitish, lightish blue eyes. So maybe they just decided they didn't want to have two characters like that or whatever. I don't know. Who knows the reasoning behind it? But it's not like a huge deal, because a lot of times, characters their looks kind of vary from the cartoons versus their actual, movie movie incarnations. But it's one of the things that's interesting is so Saw Gerrera kind of worked with, he was sort of this, he, you know, he was kind of like a rebel, and then the Jedi, I guess they sent the Jedis like Obi-Wan and Anakin in to kind of, you know, help these guys with their rebellion to, I don't know, to stage a coup, or forgot what exactly was going on. So actually he like kind of worked and in some ways was kind of trained by Anakin Skywalker in some ways, which is weird because now he's fighting Darth Vader. And I thought that was kind of that would be sort of an interesting angle, but then I started to think, and I don't know, I'm sure this has been discussed before, but I've never even considered it until now. And that is like Darth Vader's, is his identity, is it like publicly known? Does everyone know that? I mean, I know Obi-Wan knew, but he was there, you know. But does the average person in Star Wars, do they know that Darth Vader used to be Anakin Skywalker? I don't think. Well, I know for a fact they didn't, because, well, I mean, Princess Leia didn't know who he was. He just when in Jedi when Luke said, no, he's my father and stuff like that. So I don't think everyone knows that Darth Vader used to be Anakin. I could be wrong, but if you guys know that, let me know. I mean, I guess I could Google that and find out. But so I mean, it's possible that this character Saw Gerrera doesn't even know that you know, Darth Vader was Anakin. And what's weird is there are a lot of similarities to Darth Vader and this character, because if you look right now at he's got all these kind of like breathing apparatuses and things like that, and probably like life supporting systems keeping him alive. And like I said, he's missing a foot and possibly a hand. So something's happened to him. And if he was sort of, you know, in the episode I saw, he's like jumping up on those, I guess, whatever kind of tanks they are. I guess they're not tanks, but like the Empire had or whatever. And was it the Empire? It wasn't the Empire back then. That would have been the Separatist or whatever. But he's jumping on them, throwing grenades and stuff in there, and jumping off. So it's based on the kind of guerrilla tactics that he uses. It's a chance that he probably was involved in some kind of explosion or something. I don't know if we'll get that kind of backstory about him or anything like that. But he does have a lot of that kind of, he's got almost that breathing thing like around his neck that Darth Vader has when he takes off his mask and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if that has any, you know, bearing on the story or anything compared to Darth Vader or anything like that, but or if we'll get to know how that happened. But oh yeah, you can see right now, I noticed from the pop figures, he's only got 1 foot, but he's got a sandal on. I thought that was kind of weird because he's got all this armor type stuff, and then he's got a sandal on. So, but I did notice that kind of from the pop figure. So I'm kind of interested to see. And again, a lot of these colors, like I noticed, it looked like there were some sort of greens and stuff in there. So I just decided to throw in greens. But it's possible that this color scheme is a little off. That this kind of bluish gray of the armor and most of his costume, I just based that off of the one kind of photo that I had, which could have been lighting and stuff. In some ways, it looks like it could be a lot darker. I may have made it lighter than I had to, but again, I'm kind of guessing at this right now. So hopefully the next one I do will have a little more reference to it, which I think I will. I've noticed some of the actual action figures are starting to leak, and that's a good way to kind of see what some of these characters actually look like. But anyway, so yeah, I'm finishing up kind of the coloring stages. I'm just using a variety of different markers. I use Pantone Tria markers, I use Spectrum Noir markers, and of course my favorites, the Copic markers, which a little more expensive, and I'm starting to run out of some of the colors. I'm probably going to have to order some refills pretty soon if I'm going to continue doing a lot of these marker renderings and everything. But yeah, it's real fun, and I like doing these, kind of get me in the mood for the movie coming out and everything. And even if right now I don't know a whole lot about it, and I'm not trying to find out a whole lot about it. I'm trying to, you know, I like to kind of steer clear of a lot of spoilers and things like that. But it is exciting, and a lot of the characters that are, you know, seem very interesting. It's almost like, I hate to keep hammering the prequels, but all these characters, they have all these kind of unique characters, and when you look back at like the prequels, it's like, well, what are the characteristics of these characters in the Star Wars prequels? And it's like, well, kind of like Jedis, and they're Jedi-ish, and they're all kind of like that, most of the characters. So it's nice to have a wide variety of different characters, you know, kind of colorful characters and stuff like that. But anyway, so thanks for watching this video. I will be back next week with another Fan Art Friday. I'll probably be back before then with some other kind of video. I don't know what. Yeah, if you, I got an Etsy store out. If you want to go check it out, I'm Serkworks on Etsy. Got a lot of cool stuff up there. But I'll be back next week, and yeah, that is all.